In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to buy what's called tax deeds online. I'm not just going to show you how to buy them, I'm going to show you what they are and how to make huge money on this. Now, here's the kicker, okay? Like, subscribe, and people will come knocking on your door if you subscribe and give you properties for free. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, all it's going to do is give you the opportunity for me to send videos to you, and you know when they're available. And also, here's a bigger thing. If there's somebody out there that you think would benefit from this information, if there's somebody you're thinking of right now, just hit that little share button over there and send it off over to them, and they'll benefit from this. There's a lot of money to be made for this, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this in this video. And stick around to the very end. I got a little gift for you, if you will. I started when I was 10 years old. No, you're not going, anyway, whatever. A long time ago. Okay, let's put it this way. Cell phones were, the Motorola, what we called the brick. Microsoft Windows had just come out. Email, we didn't know what that meant, but it was something. Okay, kind of dating myself. Just to get information from the county, we had to walk barefoot in the snow. No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen uphill. It's so funny because my daughter will say, in the way back days, Daddy, did you have? I'm like, what does that mean, the way back days? But I guess I have lived in that generation that saw everything from, no cell phones to records to 8 tracks to now here we got digital music floating through the air. All right, so let's talk about how do you buy tax deed certificates online. So as it started to go online, we got excited because we thought this was going to be really cool. We're going to click a button, fill the cart. Yeah, then reality sunk in. Wouldn't it be nice if Amazon were to actually make this happen? I guess it would and it wouldn't. One of the things I like about tax liens and tax deeds and what makes it so unique, if you will, is the fact that every county does it their own way. And they could care less how the county in the same state next door to them is doing it. You could have a state like Texas who has 256 counties and they have no clue what the counties are doing next to them. They have similarities how they work, but there you go. That's the first barrier to online buying tax deeds. The second barrier is the county has got to hire somebody to put them online and take care of all that. If anybody's done anything online to as simple as an online website or anything like that, you understand the mechanics and what I like to call the ninjas in there that break stuff all the time. So now the county's got to hire somebody to keep this thing going up. So there comes a point of entry that eliminates some people on that. That doesn't mean nobody's doing it. That means there's a lot of states that are doing it. But remember, when you're buying them online, you're not going to the county's website and filling a shopping cart and checking out. Typically, it's going to be a third uninterested party that the county has contracted to put them online. But at the end of the day, the process is exactly the same. So I'm going to go to an online sale. I'm not going to pick a particular state because it doesn't really matter. What you need to do is find out when you see an online sale coming up at a particular deal, understand this is the process. You're going to have to register in 2 places more than likely, at the county, okay, and at the online organization or whatever. So you might have to have 2 bidder information, okay, on there, number 1. Number 2 is you want to find out how the auction is going to be held. In other words, if it is online, does that company have mock auctions? Do they have examples? Do they have tutorials on how to do this? Number 3, how do they want funds available? A lot of auction places are requiring deposits now for tax deed sales. So they're saying, okay, you want to come to our sale? We're going to make you put $5,000 down, $500, or a percentage of what you feel you might be paying for the property. So let's say I got $50,000 to spend and they want me to put 10% or $5,000. If I don't pay the rest of the balance off, they get to keep the $5,000. Be aware of that. If I am registering, who do I register? Okay, do I register myself? Do I register my LLC? Do they require me to have a power of attorney knowing that I'm authorized to sign for the LLC? All of these things you want to know. Now you got to find out when and where the sale is going to take place. What I mean by where is when is what time during the day. But there's one place that say they have online sales as long as you're using a computer in the county. Well, that's not really online, but again, if you're not reading the fine print, you're thinking, oh, I can just do this online. So when and where. And then you also want to start, the when is, that's going to dictate typically when the list will be available. Typically, they should have the list out 30 days before. I say typically because Steve Clements, my good friend of mine, and I were doing this recently. This is like in the last 60 days. In this county, no list, no list, no list. 12 days before the sale, they decide to have the list. But it's supposed to be out there 30 days prior. And then now you've got the list, you want to do your research, make sure the property is what you think it is, make sure that you've got photos of the property, you've done all the title work on it. What liens are on that property? You want to make sure that all of those people have been notified. If somebody's not notified that this thing's going to a tax deed sale, that lien will still be valid. Pretty simple, it's all public information. I'm looking at the title, yep, there's these 4 liens on it. I'm looking over, yep, they've notified these 4 people. Okay, I'm good to go. I know for a fact that when I buy this at the sale at whatever price, those people are eliminated. Okay, so you've got those factors. Once you've got all of that done, now it's time to go down there and determine your maximum bid. Now, the way I determine my maximum bid is simple. I want to determine the ARV, after rehab value. I assume that every property I get, I'm going to have to do something as simple as lipstick and makeup to a complete, gut job. Okay. So I'm going to have to do some research on it based on what you're seeing. No, you will not be able to go into these properties. So you have to take that into consideration. That I see a beautiful house, then we got the property, and on the inside, it was not good. Not very often. Usually the outside represents the inside, but I'm gonna have to do some rehab. So how do I have to figure that out? What's this property gonna be worth at its nicest? Well, the way you do that is you find properties in that neighborhood, same square footage approximately, same bedroom, same bathroom, and what they've been sold for in the last 60 days. Not 6 months from now, not 2 years ago. I want 60-day comps in that area. I take those 3 properties, I add up all of the values, and I divide it to 3. I add up all the square footage and divide it to 3. And then I divide the square footage into the average sale price, average square footage, average sale price, and that will give me my price per square foot. Okay, you can watch this video over to get that. Okay, it's really simple. So if I'm looking at a property and it's got 3,000 square feet, and I find out that property is worth, for easy math in my head, $100 a square foot, it's a $300,000 property. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's probably, maybe $300 per square feet. Okay, now I've got a $900,000 property. I don't care what anybody says. A property is worth per square foot what everything's selling in the background. They could align gold on the toilet. Kid Rock, right? Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bring the value of the property up. It's what the comps are. Now that I've got my established fair market value or after rehab value, now I kind of go backwards from there and go, okay, what am I willing to pay for this property and still make my profit? So let's say it was worth $300,000. I can say, okay, this thing needs probably a little bit of mop and glop on this thing, so maybe $25,000. Maybe it needs a lot, $50,000. I'll pay $100,000 for this property, $125,000, whatever that is. If I get this property at $125,000, I have to put $50,000. I own it at $175,000. It's worth $300,000. I think everybody in here would be happy with it. This is how you establish your prices. Obviously, there are a lot of things that you have to determine when you get to that point. It's not easy, but it's also not complicated as long as you have somebody showing you what to do. And that's the bonus. I've got a brand new course that I'm going to give you for free. It is a mini course that I've just put together that's going to walk you A to Z how to do this. And when you get done with this course, you'll know exactly how to buy a property right and for the right price and own it free and clear. Just click the link down below and I'll get that out to you ASAP. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you out there.